A 29-year-old teacher from Riverview is in jail tonight. She's accused of having sexual contact with a 12-year-old boy. The Hillsborough School District, though, was quick to point out that the victim is not one of the woman's students, but that really has not done much to ease parents' concerns. 10 News reporter Eric Glasser is live at Mango Elementary School tonight, where the accused teacher worked. And Eric, I understand that this teacher was highly regarded.
Well, not just highly regarded, Heather. She won a major award here last year. You know, if you're a parent in the Hillsborough County School District, you're probably saying to yourself, I can't believe that this is happening again. The school district points out it has 14,000 workers. They say try to keep it in perspective, but they had to send out one of those automated phone calls again today to parents from here at Mango Elementary School, and even had a crisis team on hand to handle the reaction. Detectives say it started in December. 29-year-old Ethel Anderson, ironically, Mango Elementary School's Diversity School Teacher of the Year last year, charged with having a sexual relationship with a 12-year-old boy she'd been tutoring.
Very sad and very disappointed and shocked.
School officials say the victim was not one of Anderson's fifth-grade students, but district officials do have counselors on hand to delicately explain her absence to the children and help Anderson's colleagues cope with the disturbing allegations.
The crisis team is going to meet with teachers first and then go to her classes and talk to them.
Deputies say Anderson would invite that 12-year-old boy back to her home here in Riverview and then engage in inappropriate touching and oral sex. Neighbors say Anderson lives here with her husband Michael, their young daughter, and another woman who has two boys of her own. Michael did not answer the door, but in a published interview with the Tampa Bay Times said he was shocked and still trying to wrap his head around all what just happened.
You know, I mean, this is such a good neighborhood here. Sometimes you just don't know who your neighbors are.
People living in Anderson's subdivision are also shocked by the allegation. Some say they want Anderson out of the neighborhood now. There are more than a dozen children living within a house or two of the home, they say.
I'm dumbfounded.
Nicole Morley's two children sometimes went next door to play with Anderson's daughter. She'll now have to have an uncomfortable discussion with them, she says, about whether anything inappropriate ever took place.
I will not let my kids play around her at all. I can't trust her.
And again, even though school officials say that the victim in this case was not one of Anderson's students, you can be sure that a lot of parents share that sentiment of concern. For now, Anderson was in jail. School officials said she would be getting a letter there letting her know that even if she got out, she is not welcome on any school property.
This Phoenix woman seen here in custody tonight, accused of having sex with teenage boys. But the weirdness of her story goes much further. CBS 5's Jason Berry joins us now live. Jason, this is just unimaginable here.
Yes, it is. Not only is this woman accused of luring teenage boys over the internet to have sex with, police tell us she was also pretending to be a cancer patient so that nobody would suspect what she was doing. Take a look at this video. This is Jennifer Dempsey's initial appearance in court. The 35-year-old Phoenix woman is facing several counts of sexual conduct with a minor involving two teenage boys, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. Police say Dempsey would meet her young victims through Facebook, then go to see them in person to engage in sex acts. We're told Dempsey pretended to be a 16-year-old girl. Apparently, these sexual encounters took place in a car at a Valley Park and at Dempsey's home. It wasn't until one of the teenage boys' parents alerted police that investigators got involved. That's also when detectives learned that Dempsey was pretending to have cancer.
She used her cancer ploy against to our detectives to try to stay out of trouble, that this was part of the reason why she wouldn't engage in conduct, that she was constantly ill from chemotherapy, all of which we learned in the following days was not true.
As far as you know, she has cancer.
It was my belief that she was very, very ill. She wore a tube all the time. We've had other residents that have had cancer, and I would have thought she fit that profile from what she showed to us.
Investigators were able to obtain some incriminating text messages from Jennifer Dempsey, and were told she eventually confessed to some of the conduct taking place. We're told the parents of one of the teenage boys actually met Dempsey and were skeptical that she was not 16 years old. We're told the parents also found some nude photos that Dempsey allegedly exchanged with their son. They called police, and that's what eventually led to this woman's arrest.
Okay, a lot of twists and turns in this one, Jason. Let's concentrate on this one question here. Was this woman just lying to police about having cancer, or was it everyone else?
You know, according to police, she was lying to everyone else. You heard there from her manager at the complex where she lived. She believed she had cancer. We spoke to a neighbor. They believed that she had cancer, and apparently her family was all under the impression that this woman had cancer. She even went out of her way to have a tube placed and taped on her chest to make it seem like she had cancer. We're told she shaved her head. Apparently it was all done to try and prevent anyone from having any suspicion that she might be involved in this kind of criminal activity.
Tonight, parents are speaking out after a middle school counselor is accused of having sex with a student for at least a year. They're outraged the woman their kids shared secrets with might have been keeping a big one of her own. It is our top story tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Meredith Anderson.
I'm Richard Rogers. Good to have you here. An Evans mother of two facing serious criminal charges tonight after GBI agents say she was having a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old.
Heather Newman Hart was a counselor at Burke Middle School, and Sardis police say they caught her with a young high school student Monday night. News 12's Carter Coyle has been following this story all day.
Well, GBI agents say they unfortunately see horrifying cases involving children all too often. Rape, molestation, murder. But even these agents were shocked to investigate a school counselor.
Shocked that that's going on.
Lexi Tenhusen is upset that a counselor at Burke Middle School is being accused of this disturbing crime.
Well, people keep secrets, and I'm not really sure, why it went on as long as it did, but it's shocking, and I just hope she's brought to justice.
GBI agent in charge Mike Ayers explains Sardis police asked them to investigate Heather Hart Monday night. Sardis police allegedly caught Hart in a car in a local neighborhood, acting inappropriately with the 14-year-old boy.
They had reason to believe that there was a possible sexual relationship that was ongoing between Miss Hart and the high school student.
He says oftentimes long-term abuse cases happen between family members or within the same home. This case is different.
There is still significant work that needs to be done in terms of creating a timeline and looking at the event from a historical perspective.
Ayers says the charges Hart is facing now may only be the beginning. He believes at least a year of sexual involvement is possible, perhaps dozens of incidents for agents to trace back.
Each one of these events can become a separate criminal charge.
The story is stirring up mixed emotions around town, especially concern for the young man involved.
I hope he gets counseling, and leads a healthy, productive life once this is over.
Hart turned herself in last night and faces 4 charges, not only sexual charges, but also lying to law enforcement during this investigation.
So what about Miss Hart's history? Any record of trouble in the past?
Well, the GBI says her criminal record is clean, and also that there's nothing in her school personnel file to indicate any complaints like this in the 4 years that she was employed by Burke County Board of Education. And we're also told by numerous students who wrote into the newsroom that they're just shocked that this happened, and they are in disbelief that it's going on in their school.
No doubt. Thank you, Carter.
12 News' Nick Bohr is outside Deer Creek Intermediate School in St. Francis with the story you'll see only on 12. And Nick, the boy says it happened at the teacher's apartment.
That's right, Terry. Her Milwaukee apartment. Parents and staff here at Deer Creek say they are in shock over the allegations accusing this 8th grade teacher of sexually assaulting a student. For 4 years at Deer Creek Intermediate School in St. Francis, 26-year-old Kelly Sweet has taught 8th grade math and coached girls volleyball.
State of Wisconsin versus Kelly Sweet.
But prosecutors say she got way too close with a 14-year-old boy, a student at the school.
Oh, it was a huge shock. It would be with any one of our staff people. It was very upsetting.
School officials learned of the sexual assault allegations from police last Monday and immediately suspended Sweet. The boy told police he was at Sweet's downtown Milwaukee apartment earlier this month watching a movie with her on the couch when he says Sweet began to kiss him and it led to sexual contact.
Oh gosh, I'm sick to my stomach.
Parents of other students at the school say they're stunned.
Very uncomfortable right now, very uncomfortable. You hear it all around, but you don't expect it to, be in your own school, your own kid's school, I should say. And that's scary.
Hearing about that is, you hate to hear people you trust to educate your kids doing stupid things like that.
Meantime, the school is trying to help the students cope with the news.
We have set up the opportunity for kids to come in and talk to our counselors and therapists about how they feel. Obviously, we can't share any details, nor do we really have those many details. So I think students have been taking advantage of that.
Well, the superintendent tells us police told her that they are not aware of any other victims, but they are said to be alert just in case any other students might come forward. Now, Sweet is charged with second-degree sexual assault of a child. If convicted, she could face up to 40 years in prison.
Vacaville summer camp leaders accused of having unlawful sexual intercourse with a 14-year-old boy in her program. The KCRA 3 team's Danielle Lee explains how police found out about the alleged inappropriate relationship.
Vacaville police say inappropriate text messages sent to a 14-year-old boy led them to arrest 21-year-old Katrina Herodor.
Detectives met with the parents of the 14-year-old male, and they reported discovering suspicious text messages.
And when they talked to Herodor,
she did give us a statement as to what occurred that evening.
And was it admitting that the incidents occurred?
Yes, it was.
Police say Herodor got to know the boy during one of Vacaville's city-run summer camps. She was a program leader, and he was a camper.
She should be dealt with. I mean, anytime that you mess with a minor.
Other youth leaders called the allegations appalling.
I hope that she pays justice for it.
Police say Herodor picked up the boy in Vacaville late last week and took him to her home in Fairfield where they had unlawful sexual intercourse. A record search indicates that's this house. We spoke to this man who pulled up just as we did.
Do you live here with Katrina Herodor?
Yeah.
He and a woman who walked out of the house refused to identify themselves or say much about Herodor.
Is she home, Katrina?
No.
I don't know her that well.
Police say they doubt Herodor victimized anyone else, but that is a possibility they're exploring.
We're going to investigate this matter fully and vigorously.
Pennsylvania woman is in jail tonight accused of driving across the country to have sex with a tri-state minor. And as Fox 7's Lauren Jones tells us, that minor was a 14-year-old girl from Wayne County.
Their relationship started with a click of a mouse, and it was that relationship with a 14-year-old girl that landed 33-year-old Catherine Miller of Pennsylvania behind bars.
She told us that she was in love with this person, and she actually gave her a ring, and according to the victim, she proposed marriage.
According to law enforcement, Miller met the Illinois minor online in September, chatted on the phone, text messaged with her, and then they both agreed to meet in Flora on Monday. Officers say the juvenile's father found out about it and caught the two engaging in sexual activity in the parking lot of the Best Western Hotel in Flora.
Found children's toys and baby bottles, and we later discovered the significance of the baby bottle was she would give them to the victims because now they're her baby.
Officers also seized Miller's computer and found child pornography along with nude pictures of the juvenile. After checking Miller's MySpace profile, law enforcement discovered many of Miller's friends were actually underage females.
For several 14 and 15-year-old girls that were her friends just all over the country.
While having underage friends online isn't a crime, Detective Jonah Kinzelving says this was the first sign that this might not have been Miller's first illegal interaction with a minor.
With the hotel receipts and the different receipts from all over the country, the MySpace profiles from all over the country, we decided we were in over our head. We needed some federal investigators.
Kinzelving says Miller confessed to her relationship with the juvenile, but says she has not had any other relationship with underage girls. Lauren Jones, Fox 7 News.
Miller is being held on a $250,000 bond in Saline County. She was charged with interstate travel for the purpose of engaging in illicit sex with a minor. If convicted, she could face up to 30 years in prison.
7 teenagers say they were raped by a Tipton County teacher. 11 kids say she gave them alcohol. A grand jury indicted Crestview Middle School reading teacher Cindy Clifton on Monday. Today, she made her first court appearance. ABC 24's Joy Lambert was there.
Clifton walked into court calm, collected, with her husband by her side. She walked out the same way. More than 90 people in court this morning, but the charges against Clifton caught everyone's attention.
Aggravated statutory rape, 11 counts.
53 counts in total, all against minors. 28 charges involving alcohol, the other 25 for rape. It was the first time the middle school teacher heard them.
She had an opportunity to have a formal reading of the charges against her and be provided with a copy of the indictment. And so that's essentially what happened today. Also, the court inquired as to who was going to be her attorney.
That answer, Blake Ballin, from the well-known Ballin Law Firm. He says his client didn't do it.
She's crushed. She's been emotional. This has been hard on her, hard on her family. She's been an educator for, I think, almost 20 years. She has a master's degree. She is a very family-oriented person. Has been involved with her church. This is just completely at odds with her character.
The details aren't specific. Here's a breakdown of what we do know about the victims. 10 males, 1 female. They range in age from 14 to 17. One 14-year-old boy cited statutory rape by an authority figure 12 times between April and May. Walking out of court, Clifton had nothing to say. How are you dealing with these allegations?
Are they true?
Mr. Clifton, how are you doing?
Those are significant and serious sex offense felonies for which there should be justice. And we will certainly pursue that justice, and we will prosecute this just like we would any other serious sex offense felony case.
For the first time, Clifton's lawyer received a list of names of the children who are making these allegations against her. Of course, that information is sealed to the public because they're all minors. In Tipton County, Joy Lambert, ABC 24 News.
Now, the lone female student was not a rape victim. She's part of the alcohol charges.
A school shocker in Brooklyn.
A middle school teacher accused of raping a 6th grader after supplying him with drugs and alcohol. CBS 2's Dave Carlin reports now from Bed-Stuy.
City school teacher Claudia Tillery is charged with raping a boy, allegedly plying him with drugs and alcohol. The 42-year-old is now in jail instead of here at the Stephen Decatur School in Bedford-Stuyvesant, where parents are shocked to learn investigators say she started preying on the boy when he was 12, supplying the drugs and sex over a period of 2 years.
This makes me want to cry. Very concerned because you have to worry about your children, and you want to be able to say that when they're not with you and they're in school with somebody who you entrust, that they can be safe.
No answer at the Crown Heights apartment building where Tillery lives with her daughter. She was arrested here yesterday evening. Investigators are not saying who turned her in. Sources tell CBS 2 the teenage victim came forward and is cooperating with prosecutors.
She's a school teacher. She's supposed to be teaching the children was a good thing.
Tillery started working here at Decatur in September of 1996, teaching 6th graders. Parents and students describe her teaching style as serious and strict.
Real disappointing.
Corey Blaylock heard about Tillery's arrest when he picked up his godson, Jocelyn Perry, a 7th grader who was in Tillery's history class last year.
Because she would call our houses for no reason, just scream at us a lot.
We wanted to see the principal about the teacher. No. Is she here? Is it the principal?
Get back out. I'll get it for you.
You'll get the principal for us? But the principal would not comment, referring us to a Department of Education spokesperson who confirmed Tillery is suspended and will not be returning here anytime soon. In Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, Dave Carlin, CBS 2 News.
Tillery has hired a private defense attorney and is in court tonight for arraignment on rape, unlawful dealing of drugs and alcohol to a child, and also sexual misconduct.
35-year-old woman accused of having sex with a 14-year-old boy in her Von Ormy home. Also shared a connection with him at school. She works as a substitute teacher while he is a high school student. As Katrina Weber reports, there's also another child involved now. The woman says she's pregnant.
We've got a lot of family problems going on right now.
One of those problems, according to Johnny Lopez, involves a family member still on the way. His 35-year-old mother-in-law, Amanda Sotelo, told Bexar County Sheriff's detectives she's with child, by way of a child, a 14-year-old boy.
She's in jail, but that's about the only thing that we've heard.
Investigators say they've heard much more, first from the boy's mother. Then they say Sotelo admitted she and the teen had been having an affair in her Von Ormy home. An arrest affidavit says she told them it started with them talking about their problems, then turned sexual in July. In September, she learned she was pregnant.
I think it's wrong, and I think if he needed help, he should have sought someone else.
Detectives seem to think so, too. They call it indecency with a child. On her Facebook page, Sotelo says she works with children, subbing for the Southwest ISD. A spokeswoman with the school district confirms that Sotelo was a substitute teacher, and she says the teen involved was a student at a high school here. She says the district found out about the claims on Wednesday, and Sotelo was fired immediately. The school district says there's no reason to believe any of this happened on campus. While the case against Sotelo is just beginning, her Facebook post tells how she already feels about being judged.
Foster parents are considered heroes. Taking in a child and treating them as your own, not an easy task. But one Kearns foster mom is accused of doing the unthinkable to one of her kids. ABC4 Night Team's Jonelle Merrill is live at the Salt Lake County Jail. And Jonelle, these details are disturbing for people at home, we should warn, but can you tell us what this woman's accused of doing?
Yeah, Kim, I've got the charging documents right here. Delshawn Little is charged with numerous felony counts of rape, forcible sodomy, and lewd conduct against her 2 teenage foster sons. Tonight, she is here in the Salt Lake County Jail. The charging documents read like an X-rated movie, outlining statements made by Delshawn Little's 17-year-old foster sons. They outline how Little allegedly involved one of her best friends in carrying out the sexual abuse.
Oh, it's extremely concerning and disturbing. We don't want any of our foster parents to abuse any of the children for whom they're caring in any way, shape, or form. Those kids have come into care because they need to be protected.
According to police, the alleged abuse happened over the summer at this Kearns house where Little lives. A spokesperson for the Division of Child and Family Services says their agency takes great measures to make sure predators don't ever become foster parents.
That's not ever anything that we want to have happen. So individuals who apply to be foster parents have to go through background screening. We review the child abuse database, and before they're ever able to have children in their custody, they have to be able to pass all of that.
But DCFS admits that somehow the system failed these teenage boys.
I think any time that a child is hurt, we've felt somewhere. So I think it's an opportunity to look at what happened and see if we need to make changes or corrections.
Now, the other woman charged in this abuse is 35-year-old Milana Genesee. She has not yet been booked into jail. Now, DCFS tells us that these 2 teenage boys will be placed in another foster home and also undergo psychological counseling. DCFS also says they will help aid police with their investigation.
A former Central Texas woman is arrested while working at a daycare. She's charged with sexually assaulting a child. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Collier.
And I'm Julie Hayes. 3 years ago, the local woman was able to walk away from child sex assault charges, only to be found recently working in a daycare near Dallas. Matt Howerton reports.
You might question Casey Kano as a daycare worker after reading her rap sheet. In 2008, she was arrested in Riesel for allegedly using a sexual device with a child. She was charged for 2 counts of sexual assault to a child under the age of 14. But her case was never prosecuted by former McLennan County DA John Segrist, and Kano was released from jail.
The previous administration had received the case in February of 2009, and less than a month before I took office, that previous administration refused the case for prosecution for whatever reason.
However, when a McLennan County Sheriff's Office detective recently learned that Kano was working at a daycare in McKinney, Texas, he pitched the case to now McLennan County DA Abel Reyna.
Looked at the case. We felt like there was sufficient evidence to proceed accordingly. We presented that case to the grand jury, and the grand jury agreed and issued a true bill of indictment that had 4 counts.
Kano was arrested on Monday at the daycare on her indictment warrant and brought back to the McLennan County Jail. Her indictment consisted of 2 counts of sexual assault to a child and 2 counts of indecency with the child by contact.
I think they should screen these people better than that.
Owners of the daycare denied any wrongdoing over the phone, and McKinney police sent a statement saying, "We are aware of the arrest and have contacted CPS to let them know she was arrested, so now we await their investigation. We have no information at this time to indicate there is an offense in our city." Matt Howerton, KWTX, News 10.
Kano remains in the McLennan County Jail tonight on a $250,000 bond.
Sex trial was set to start in Durham today, but another shocking twist delayed it.
The 53-year-old woman is accused of having sex with her own grandson as part of an exorcism. Tamara Gibbs is live at the Durham County Courthouse with today's strange developments. Tamara?
Well, she's not only a grandmother, she's also a former teacher who now says that she was raped and the alleged victim is nowhere to be found.
Someone needs to step in and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Durham County's DA pleads with the judge to postpone the trial of a 53-year-old grandmother accused of having sex with her grandson back in the summer of 2008. Tony Stowers-Moore listened today as prosecutors painted a grim picture.
She alleged, so now she says it was rape But prior to this point, it has been a consensual sexual act that she did as some kind of religious sacrifice to save her other innocent people.
Prosecutors say phone recordings between Moore and her relatives captured her confession. She allegedly claimed sex with her then 15-year-old grandson was the only way to remove a sexual demon from him and to protect others he might try to hurt.
Because it's bigger than just this child. This is a lady that works in the school system as a teacher.
Moore had worked as a teaching assistant at a Durham middle school. She rejected a plea deal requiring her to register as a sex offender. Today, she and her attorney had hoped for a jury trial. But according to prosecutors, several key witnesses, Moore's daughter, son, and the alleged victim are missing.
His grandson has a warrant out for the arrest. They currently don't know what this child is because they've been looking for him for quite some time. So how long exactly is this case being held open?
There's a realization from the defendant and the defendant's family. This incest has been going on before with the same victim in this same family.
Well, the judge has issued an order for arrest for at least one of those missing witnesses. Also, the DA says that she hopes to set a trial date by the end of the week.
It's the arrest of a Jackson High School student accused of raping a young boy. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brad Douglas.
And I'm Kelly McAllister. Jackson police say the 18-year-old woman surrendered to officers this morning and is now charged with rape and statutory rape of a 13-year-old. It's a shocking crime, but as WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Erica Williams found, just as shocking is where the alleged attack happened.
She joins us now live with that story. Erica?
Brad, Kelly, police say 18-year-old Hannah Steiner has admitted to them that she had sex with the underage boy at her church in the time between Sunday school and worship service.
Investigators say it happened at this church.
It was shocking. You know, you hear about teens having sex with children, but for it to happen in the church, it was a rare occasion.
According to Lieutenant Tyrese Miller of the Jackson Police Department, Hannah Steiner surrendered after being accused of having sex with a 13-year-old boy before a Sunday church service.
She's been charged with rape because it was forced, as well as statutory rape because she's an adult, he's a minor, and there's at least a 4-year age difference.
I spoke with staff here at Skyline Church of Christ. No one wanted to speak on camera, but they did tell me that they're supportive of the investigation, but do not wish to make a comment at this time.
According to Miller, Steiner and the boy were in a room at Skyline Church of Christ when they began inappropriately touching each other.
The two of them both consented, but once it got to a certain point, he wanted to stop. However, she wanted to proceed, and she forced him to have sex.
Miller says both Steiner and the boy confirmed the incident with the police.
This is a sad situation, either way you look at it. I mean, I think that if given a chance, she wouldn't do this again. But unfortunately, you don't get second chances, no one.
Steiner was released this afternoon after posting $5,000 bond. She is scheduled to make her next court appearance on March 7th.